Today we're talking about how to do a project management audit. So in this whiteboard session, I want to talk about what an audit is, clarify what a project management audit is and why we do it, and then give a few simple steps on how to get it done. Well, first of all, an audit is a verb. So some synonyms that we hear all the time is inspect, examine, check, assess, review, and analyze. So the reason I want to talk about this is because sometimes people think an audit is so scary, especially like a project management audit. What are they going to find? Well, we do this all the time, right? We do it with our health. We want to make sure, is our health getting better? Is our blood pressure getting better? And our financials, are our financials increasing? Are they decreasing? Also, people in athletics, they check their race times all the time. Maybe even musicians check their tools or their equipment, or even race car drivers, they check their equipment, right? So we do this all the time, but why do we do it? We're trying to identify, are we where we should be? Are we okay? Are we safe to go? And are we improving? So we do this all the time. So let's relate it to the project management audit. So a project management audit is a noun. It's an independent, structured assessment. It's an examination designed to determine the status of the work performed on a project to ensure we're meeting the SOW, which is the statement of work. We're looking at the scope, the time, the budget. We want to make sure what we've committed to, we're actually producing. It also can look at the maturity of the project management process. So why do we do the project management audit? Well, in some cases, we want to make sure we're complying. There are things in healthcare like HIPAA. Now, with people working with data, there's the general data requirements and even the FAA and the FTC. So depending upon what industry, there may be things that you have to comply with in your project. We also want to find any gaps or reasons for failures or errors. And then we want to find areas of efficiencies to improve the time, improve the money, or decrease expenses. Maybe we even want to decrease the effort. So before you start your project management audit, then know why you're doing it. We are doing this for the purpose of what? So you can be clear that you know why you're doing this, and more importantly, what is the result that you're seeking? So what do we look at? So basically, at a high level, we're checking out who does what, when, and where, and how can you prove it? So in the audit, we may be looking at process documentation, deliverables that are produced, maybe even tools that we use to track it, and the artifacts. So the artifacts are actually the proof. So we can look at the project management task, and the audit is looking at these tasks were supposed to be done, or these deliverables were supposed to be produced. So were they? So we always want to prep before we do the audit. So here are some of the things just at a high level we want to make sure that we're prepped and ready for. We want to create a process for the audit, and we also want to use a documentation repository for our projects, because that way, when we're using the process, we can go to the repository to find documents, deliverables, and artifacts. We also want to use a template or a checklist, so we ensure that we haven't missed anything, and to also ensure that we have a documented, repeatable process. We also want to track this with a tool. So the great news is with software tools today, we can, for the different tasks that are being performed by either the project manager or the team member, they can attach documents to specific tasks or milestones. That way the artifacts or the evidence is right there in your project plan and in your tool. And so here are just, again, some very high-level steps for an audit process. So first of all, you want to plan the audit. So let everyone know who is involved in the audit or in the process or the project. Give them a heads up that this is going to be done. And again, it's not a scary thing. It's not to make anyone wrong. We're trying to improve things. So we want to conduct the audit, actually go through the process of the audit by doing the things we're looking at doing. Then I think it's important to summarize the audit. What were the findings? What improvements did you see had occurred, or what recommendations for improvements do you see could be done? And also, I like to give accolades. When people improve processes, I like to encourage them and let them know that they're actually doing things better. Then we want to present the results to the team, the stakeholders, or the people who need to know. And then number 5, determine the action plan. So from the findings or improvements that you see could be made, you want to be sure to put a plan around that so you know what actions need to be done, when they need to be done, and who needs to do it. And then schedule the follow-up, and then you go back and you rinse and repeat. You actually do it again. So that's continuous improvement. And you can see that that's very valuable to not only the project, but the organization and the team. So if you need a tool that can help you with your project management audit, then sign up for our software now at projectmanager.com.